What's up, everybody? I'm Sly The Movie Guy, and here's my movie review of The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves, starring Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Jeffrey Wright, Paul Dano, Andy Serkis, John Turturro, and the rest of the other casting crew. And in this film, Batman ventures into Gotham City's underworld when a sadistic killer leaves behind a trail of cryptic clues. As the evidence begins to lead closer to home and the scale of the perpetrator's plans become clear, he must forge new relationships, unmask the culprit, and bring justice to the abuse of power and corruption. I've been hyped up about this movie since day one. I couldn't wait for it to come out. I mean, at the time during 2020, during the pandemic, when the DC fandom, when they dropped the trailer, I was like, wow, this trailer is amazing, man. I can't wait for this movie to come out. And then it was supposed to come out during 2021, and it got postponed because of the pandemic and stuff. So I was like, oh man, really? And during in 2021, during another DC fandom, they showed another Batman trailer, and that one was just so amazing as the teaser trailer. So my excitement levels was already up there when it was a teaser trailer. With the second trailer, I was like, oh my God, this one is just, whoo, just amazing, man. So I just was like, I lost my mind with that trailer and stuff. And it was everything, man. So, and it said it's coming out in March 4th, 2022. So I was like, okay, hopefully it don't get delayed and stuff. Hopefully things get better and stuff like that. So getting into 2022, it still stayed on March 4th. So I was like, okay. And stuff like that. And then TV spots kept coming on TV and stuff about the Batman, and my hype levels, it was everything. I like, please, I want the movie to come out now, January, February. So it was like one of my most anticipated films in recent years. So I couldn't wait for this film to come out. And I've seen it 2 times. I've seen it Friday and Saturday. And all I got to say is, wow, what a phenomenal movie from start to finish, man. Woo! I was floored when I watched it on Friday. I was like, yes, this is the Batman movie I wanted. And I'll get to the positive stuff in my review when I'm talking about and stuff. But man, it was the Batman movie. I was just like, man, this is fantastic, man. It's so good, man. I mean, I just loved every second of it, man. And Saturday, I enjoyed it the second time even more, man. This is just an incredible movie. And man, and what way to put it, man, is to say, let's just start off with the positives about this movie, man. Starting off the story. And what I mean is, this is the complete Batman movie I wanted, is the detective noir style vibe of this film. I mean, Matt Reeves said during the DC fandom, before the trailer came out and stuff, he said he wanted to make this more a detective Batman movie. And I was like, okay, I can't wait to see this, man, because pretty much we got a little bit of the detective stuff in the Nolan films and stuff, or you want to say Michael Keaton a little bit here and there, but not like this. This one, they went full with it, because technically Batman is called the greatest detective. So this was yes, I'm getting a detective Batman movie, and it was a breath of fresh air and a beauty, man. I loved every second of it. Just seeing Batman and with Commissioner Gordon, played by Robert Pattinson, Jeffrey Wright, as they searching for clues and stuff. Every time the Riddler did something, killed somebody and stuff, and leaving out riddles and stuff, and dead people on the floor and stuff, where all the policemen and stuff like that, they trying to investigate and find clues of what's going on and stuff, what the Riddler's up to. All that stuff really played out so well, and the progression of the detective stuff really works so well and stuff. The progression just keeps getting better and better. So each scene, I was just looking for more, looking for clues, just like if I was the detective and stuff. So all that really works well in the film, and I just loved every second, man. I can see myself watching this over and over again, because if y'all been on my channel for a while now, I say I love mystery crime films, so this is around my alley. Give me more crime mystery films. I loved it, and this movie just reminded me of a film that would be made in the early 2000s, and that's a good thing. Those great crime thrilling films, or in the 90s and stuff, because this movie did have like a little reminiscent of the movie Seven, directed by David Fincher, which I highly recommend you checking out and stuff. So this had that little Seven type vibe and stuff, which is not a bad thing. It didn't like, I mean, it does feel like that, but it didn't like really like copy it like all the way and stuff. But this is Batman, so this is detective. So what else can you do to make a different detective movie? So, so it worked. I love the story and stuff. It just gives me the stuff that I read from the Batman comic books and the Arkham Knight stuff like that, where you play the game doing all that detective stuff, trying to find clues and stuff, and the Batman 1992 series. So I loved it. So it gave me all those things that reminds me of the comic books and the 92 series and the Arkham game and stuff. I loved it, man. It was just, this movie felt fresh. It didn't feel like the same old like Batman movie and stuff, even though it has a little bit of the stuff that you might seen like from The Dark Knight and Batman Begins, but it had a whole new like fresh ideas and stuff. It had a brand new style, everything about it and stuff. It was just good. And the gritty tone with the detective vibe definitely worked. I loved it. It was great. The storyline of it kept me invested from beginning to end. It was great, fantastic. And none of this wouldn't happen if it wasn't for the directing and the writing. And that goes out to Matt Reeves directing here, man. Oh, man, Matt Reeves is a fantastic director. And this is the guy that directed Dawn and War on the Planet of Apes and his other films and stuff that I highly recommend you checking out if you haven't seen him yet. He knocked this one out of the park, man. Oh man, it was just like artwork here. Matt Reeves is just one of the best directors in Hollywood. I mean, you could easily put this man in like top 10. If you ever have like Matt Reeves in your top 10 directors and stuff, hey, it's fair, man. I would probably put him in my top 10. This man is amazing. It's just his directing style, the way he directs his films is he don't go very like fast paced like some directors do. He goes like a little like slow with it. And that might bother some of y'all as like that watch movies and stuff that's not used to that little slow burn and stuff like that. But this was very necessary to have a slow burn when you're doing detective work. And I think Matt Reeves' approach of that and the direction he went with it worked so well. And I loved every second of it. I can tell Matt Reeves put in a lot of like blood, sweat, and tears to make this movie right, especially for Batman fans and stuff, to give us that detective vibe. And it worked so well and stuff. And the writing, Matt Reeves and Peter Craig, if I'm not mistaken, that's the writer of the film. They did a fantastic job with the writing here, man. Oh, man, the writing was phenomenal. Because certain things in the storyline, you think it's going to happen this way, and you're thinking like, okay, this, but then as the film goes on, you're like, wait, no, it's not like that. So that was fantastic. The props to them with the screenplay here, man. Oh, it was great. Directing and writing, 2 thumbs up automatically. I loved every second of it. Man, the style and tone is great. I mean, Gotham felt so unsafe in this movie. It's at times if I like walked on the streets of Gotham, I'm toast. I mean, the goons that's on the streets of Gotham and stuff like that, it left me unsafe. And the way the color palette and all that and the rain, you're just like, if you're going like in a dark alley, you're just like, oh man, where's Batman at? So it just felt so unsafe in this movie. It just felt like there's like everybody's in danger at one point, because you have the Riddler, you have goons out on the streets and stuff of Gotham. It's just you don't know. And even if you like go on a train or something like that, there might be bad guys there. So this movie, it just have you on the edge of your seat the whole time. And I was just like, I had different like emotions. I was like happy how good the film was, and the sitting on the edge of my seat, didn't know what was going to happen when it came to Riddler doing riddles and stuff, and the set and putting people in danger and stuff like that. I didn't know what was going to happen, and it just worked well, the style and tone and stuff, and I loved it, man. It had a gritty, grounded approach of it with the detective stuff, and it It was just good. It was just a crime film. As far as I'm concerned, Batman could have been like Bruce Wayne as a detective, and it still would have worked. I loved it, man. It's style and tone is fantastic. Now get to the casting in this movie. Wow. The casting is just good. I mean, we talk about how like films have an all-star cast in a comic book film and stuff. When we talk about like Avengers, Dark Knight, other comic book films and stuff. This one, the cast is great. Like I named in the beginning. Let me just start off with it. Robert Pattinson as Batman Bruce Wayne. Fantastic casting on so many levels. Wow. Everybody was against Robert Pattinson, and it's over. And I can get it because he played in the Twilight films. But hey, if you wanted people that was very like scared of Robert Pattinson playing Batman, hey, no worries. This guy did great, and he was already doing good in movies before before he became Batman. Doing this film, he already did good in other films like the Safdie brothers film, Good Time, and the other movie, The Lighthouse. So this guy can act. This is a really good actor, and he did that Christopher Nolan movie Tenet, which I highly recommend you checking out, and the other films I mentioned. So he did good as Batman. And I've heard a lot of like things about his Bruce Wayne. I thought his Bruce Wayne was good because this was like a year two. This is the Batman year two, which Matt Reeves said. This is like year two of Batman and stuff and the detective stuff. So this Batman is still like trying to learn and stuff and all that and how to get things together when it comes to the suit and being this, get like the vigilante and all that stuff. So this was like year two. So his Batman was getting beat to the punch and stuff. There's some scenes where he just like, he was getting injured and stuff. So I felt for him. So setting the Batman to year two and him getting like beat up and stuff like that, I relate to it. And then the gadgets that he used in the movie, which I won't get any spoilers, it's something around like it didn't work and stuff, but hey, that's what I liked about it. I related to Batman even more. So when it came to the battles and stuff, I was rooting for this character through the film. So I really loved it, man. It worked, man. And Robert Pattinson is just fantastic actor, man. He's literally, hey, any film that's like a project that directors have lined up, put Robert Pattinson in it if it's a good script and stuff. So everything about it, he was a great Batman and stuff. Bruce Wayne, fantastic. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman and stuff is great. Wow, she was so good, man. I mean, she was great as Catwoman, and her chemistry with Robert Pattinson was just 5 stars automatically. Man, their chemistry, when I watched it the second time, I really enjoyed it even more, man. I can buy into them like if they like when they liked each other and stuff, it really worked. It didn't feel like oil and water, it just didn't mix well and stuff. It was like super glue. It fit well. And Robert Pattinson chemistry with Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon worked well. And Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, woo, he is great. I love Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon in the Dark Knight trilogy. I love Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman is one of my favorite actors. And he was great as Commissioner Gordon. But man, Jeffrey Wright, he's up there with up there with Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon. He was so good, and I was invested with his character. I'll be honest, when Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon was just so investing in him, like trying to figure out the clues, what the Riddler's doing and stuff, and the dialogue he gives and stuff, which the dialogue is good in the movie, by the way. His dialogue with Robert Pattinson, it was so good, the way their back and forth conversation and stuff, and all that when they were doing computer and stuff and all that, and the different evidence and stuff they were looking for. It worked well. Oh, man. His performance is great. Andy Serkis as Alfred, which I love Andy Serkis anyways. I'm a big Andy Serkis fan. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know how I like Andy Serkis and stuff and all that. He was great as Alfred Pennyworth. Man, he was so good. John Turturro as Carmine Falcone. Fantastic. Loved his character, man. Oh, he was so good and stuff. Also, Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Wow. Fantastic. He made it his own. And I love Danny DeVito's interpretation of the Penguin in Batman Returns, which is one of my favorite Batman movies that holds a special place in my heart. But man, Colin Farrell's Penguin was just so phenomenal. I mean, it just blended so well and stuff with the mob gang and all that stuff. It just, everything about it, it just blended in with the storyline and stuff. His character didn't feel out of place at all. And I love that, man. And it was multiple characters in this film. And Penguin, I didn't know how this was going to work with Colin Farrell. I was like, I don't know. How it's going to be. And it worked perfectly, man. And the makeup and all that. It was at times that I was like, is that Colin Farrell stuff like that? I didn't know if that was Colin Farrell, and then I put on my, yeah, that is Colin Farrell. Just the makeup they did, it was so good, man. The performance, the makeup, everything about the Penguin. Man, I don't know how they pulled that off and stuff. And I forgot to mention his name earlier when I named all the people that starred in the film. But man, he was just so good, man. Oh, I love this Penguin, man. And I love when actors like they do it on their own, do their own performance. They're trying to copy everybody, like Zoe Kravitz did with Catwoman, and Robert Pattinson did with Batman, and the next guy that I'm gonna mention in a second and stuff with part of the casting, Paul Dano and stuff. I'll mention him. It's just these actors and actresses, they just did it in their own and stuff. Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, Andy Serkis. This movie, they just did everything on their own, and Colin Farrell was just fantastic, and I'm just gonna leave it as that. But the last one I really, really loved here, and he did fantastic. I couldn't believe it. This might be up there with Batman villains that we've seen on a big screen in a good Batman movie. Paul Dano as the Riddler. Woo, woo. Oh man, this was easily probably one of the best casting choice to play the grittier approach of the Riddler. And I mentioned on my channel, I like Jim Carrey's Riddler, but we can all admit that was a little very in the campy route with all that and this green spandex suit and all that. But the grounded approach, Batman, you need a very crazy Riddler. And this one was crazy, but not like the and all that. It was very gritty. You could buy into this Riddler. This Riddler was for real. He's not playing around. This Riddler was doing stuff in the film. So different riddles and stuff, but it wasn't like the riddles like showing cards and stuff, even though there was cards involved, but he was really killing people left and right in this movie. So you just oh my God, this guy's real. We need to take this serious. So cops involved in it and stuff, and Batman and Commissioner Gordon, all that stuff was just oh, this guy's not playing around and stuff. So this was very serious. So this Riddler at times kept scaring me, put me on the edge of my seat even more and stuff. So I was very amazed with the casting here, man. The casting is great. Now getting on to the camera work in this film. The camera work is absolutely remarkable on so many levels. I can't get over the camera work. And that's the one part I get critical of when it comes to comic book movies, how the camera angles are supposed to be and stuff, and the camera work. It was smooth like butter the whole way through. Oh my goodness. It just worked when it comes to the action and stuff and the detective stuff and characters walking around and stuff. It was crisp good, man. I loved every second of the camera work. Oh man, I can talk about this I could talk about it for the next 30 minutes, but I'm just gonna leave it as that. It's a 5-star on that. And the music and the music score here in this film, wow, it's fantastic. And the music that they used in the trailer was in this film that they used, and I'm not gonna get any spoilers, but it was done in this film, and I'm like, oh, really? I was surprised. It gave me that Thor Ragnarok vibes, because Thor Ragnarok, the song, the Led Zeppelin was in the trailer, and now and all that, and then it gets to and in the movie they play it throughout the different moments in the movie, and this one did the exact same thing. So I was just like, wow. Because I love the song in the trailer, so I was just like, oh my God, they did it. So I liked it. And I did say something about the action in the movie. The action here is done well. And this is more a detective Batman movie, so if you're looking for more action as a Batman fan, it's not gonna be a whole lot, but it was done so well. Certain moments when it came to action scenes, it worked great. And it didn't like, it was used at the right time. So if it was too much action in the movie, I would be like, okay, where's the detective stuff? But since it was action in it, it worked well. And it blended in with the detective stuff so well. So this movie had a good balance of doing things and stuff. The dialogue, like I said, was great. Everything about this movie is fantastic. And the one thing I will say is that I've heard a lot of people that when they said we didn't know what the rating going to be in the movie, but it was hints that it was going to be rated R, but it became PG-13. Did this film needed to be rated R? No, I didn't think it needed to be. I mean, Batman movies always had a grounded approach, and some scenes in Batman movies, it don't have to be all bloody and stuff and have wherever some stupid stuff in it and stuff like that. Batman movies can still be grounded PG-13. So there was a lot of scenes that did felt rated R and stuff. So it was very grounded. So I think the movie did not have to be rated R as I was watching it. So it worked for me. I was loving it. I loved it. It was great. PG-13. It was fine and all. And that's pretty much that's it about what I mentioned, all the positives about the movie and stuff. I mean, the cinematography is great. Everything about this movie works so well. If there was a negative, I would say, in this movie and stuff and all that, I would say the film is like slow burn and stuff, but that didn't bother me. A little bit, some parts was very, very slow. Some part, and on my first viewing, it was a little bit slow. I was kind of like, okay, can I pick up different things? But that was like really the only thing and stuff. But second viewing, I really, really enjoyed it more, and it didn't bother me the second time because this is a detective film. So detective movies always go slow. If you're not used to that, then I don't know what to say. But this is what a Batman movie is supposed to be, and this detective vibe is great and stuff. I think it's just as good as like The Dark Knight, Batman Begins and stuff, the Christopher Nolan films and stuff, which I highly recommend checking out if you haven't seen those Batman films and stuff and like that. But this film is great, and there's a lot of surprises in this film and stuff, which I won't get into, but certain things, like I said before, where you thought things were going to happen one way and the other when it came to the writing, with the good writing and all that stuff. Then there's ending, which leads on to a sequel. I won't get in detail, but I'm just so hyped up when the way it was done. If you know what I'm talking about, it happens towards the end of the film. If you know, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it happens in the end. I'm just like, oh, I lost it. I really lost it. I couldn't believe it, and it was just it. It had me and stuff. It was just good. And I'm just going to leave it as that. Overall, The Batman is a fantastic movie from start to finish. I highly recommend you checking this film out if you haven't seen it yet. This is one of the best films of 2022 so far, man. Wow. I mean, this movie could easily be like a top 10 movie of 2022. This could easily probably be one of the best comic films in 2022. I mean, we got to wait for the other ones, but man, this was so good. And as of right now, in my book, The Batman absolutely gets an A+. Woo! Man, let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this movie. Did you like it or not? Let me know in the comment section down below. And that's pretty much it. And as always, if you like this video, click thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, click subscribe and the bell button for more future content. That's why I can see you next time on Sly the Movie Guy. Peace.